morning, everybody. It is a cool morning here in Georgia, but we are out riding, and today we're going to talk about why Harley Davidson and why the road glide. So let's get to the first topic, and it's a very important thing that I want you to stay tuned for about why Harley Davidson. Very important thing. So when I was a kid, I was the kid that thought his bicycle was a motorcycle. I would pretend that the right grip was a throttle, and I would put the baseball card or the playing card in my back spokes, make the motorcycle noise. Super awesome. I grew up where Chips was a popular TV show, one of my absolute favorites, and watching Ponch and John ride motorcycles was super awesome. And the neighbor kids that I grew up with, we played Chips on our bicycles, and it was always a lot of fun. You know, watching Evil Knievel stuff. We of course did jumps and all sorts of crazy stuff that if I tried to do now, I would certainly be in the hospital. But that's what childhood is for. So when you see motorcycles traveling, which I did when I was younger, it just, if it clicks for you, it hits you in a special place, and just a group of motorcycles looks awesome when they're riding down the road, that loud sound. So looking at the motorcycles and the sound, I mean, obviously you assimilate that with Harley Davidson, and growing up, to me, Harley Davidson was always just something super badass. And what could be more badass than a Harley Davidson motorcycle? So, if I were to suggest choosing it, or people would want to know my opinion, it's a cheesy one, but that's one of my things, is just Americana, man. When you think about the motorcycle world as a whole, there are plenty of motorcycle manufacturers out there. So why would you choose Harley Davidson? Like I said, one of those is just, it's an American badass machine. Now I know that will strike a controversial chord with some people, because nowadays a lot of parts are manufactured in other places other than the United States. But when you get down to it, Harley Davidson is an American-made motorcycle. So that's a big thing. And you know, being on a patriotic motorcycling YouTube channel, I support the USA wholeheartedly, so that's why I ride an American-made motorcycle. And there are probably really good motorcycles out there manufactured by other people, but just not what I choose to ride. And this video, of course, is strictly my opinion. Everybody has one. You can form your own, but I choose to ride a Harley Davidson motorcycle because it is American made. It's freaking awesome. I know people talk about quality issues with Harley over the years, you know, the changes, you know, things, how they're happening. And dude, you're gonna get that everywhere. With every single vehicle that is produced, there's always a chance of something not being perfect, not fitting right, not working right. That's just unfortunately the way that things are. Matter of fact, production standards in, you know, most factories have a tolerance level of what is and isn't acceptable. So you're always going to have that. I mean, that's just, unless people go to 100% quality control standard, it's not going to change, and I don't see that happening in the United States right now. The other thing with Harley Davidson, and this is once again my opinion and my experience with Harley in motorcycle riding, is Harley Davidson is a reliable motorcycle. I have personally knock on wood, never had any major issues with one of my motorcycles. You have minor things, but you're riding a machine. Machines cause wear and tear. Things are going to end up happening. You have the same stuff that goes on with your car, your house. So there's always going to be maintenance and upkeep and repairs that have to be made if you want to end up continuing to own the machine. But overall, like I said, in my experience, Harley Davidson has been a reliable motorcycle. I have personally owned an Iron 883, an 05 Ultra Classic Electric Glide, a 2010 Ultra Classic Electric Glide, a 2021 Road Glide, and this 2016 Road Glide Special. So only issues that I have really had are on my 2010. It had 50,000 miles on it, and I owned that motorcycle over a period of 11 years. The charging system started to go out on it, so those things had to be replaced. Now, I know other people have stories of issues happening. Like I said, I mean, just not that it's completely acceptable, but there are things that are going to happen, and unfortunately, it is what it is. But the reliability to me, like I said, I've never had an issue. Everything has always worked and continued to get me from point A to point B and have a great time and enrich my life by riding my motorcycle. Okay, so one of the other things with reliability is the reliability of dealerships being out there. Harley Davidson has been in business for a long time, and they have a dealer network that is far, far more outreaching than other manufacturers. You can really find a Harley Davidson dealership, obviously depending on your state, within a reasonable amount of travel time. Get out to some more desolate states. I understand that may not be what somebody would consider reasonable, but you have the availability and reliability of a dealership actually being there. Yeah, you have things that are readily available to you. One of the other things that I would consider in buying a Harley Davidson, before I get to the number one, what I think is the number one reason, but one of the big things is Harley Davidson culture and community is not like anything else out there. It doesn't matter if you are black, white, red, yellow, Republican, Democrat, boy, girl, LGBTQ, ABCDF, all those letters, Catholic, Methodist, Baptist. In the Harley community, it doesn't matter. You are a Harley enthusiast, you are a Harley rider. Some people may call themselves a biker. If you haven't seen the biker versus motorcyclist video, I will have a link for that. Check that video out. Definitely a fun one. But it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, you are a Harley rider. And all of those things are important in who you are and how you are. But the awesome thing is, when you jump on your Harley Davidson motorcycle, all that shit doesn't matter. You go out riding and you're riding with other Harley people, or you go to the Harley shop, you go to an event, it doesn't matter, which is super awesome. With everything going on in this world right now, and how things are, and politics, and all that junk, and the horrible news, it is awesome to be able to go to a place where everybody's the same. Everybody says hi, everybody treats you with a mutual level of respect. And, you know, the Harley shops are even considered a safe zone with, like, motorcycle clubs. It's a neutral space. Everybody is the same, which is super awesome. I absolutely love it. I talk to people all the time in the shop. Like I said, it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they're wearing, what they look like. Everybody always says hi, handshake, fist bump, hug. Don't matter. And we need that. Now, one of the biggest things that I would say I would choose Harley Davidson is the fact of serviceability. Going along with the reliability and the availability of dealerships, you got to think about the fact that with Harley Davidson dealerships being readily available, that gives you serviceability. When I think about other manufacturers or other power sports dealers, they may make great products, but the serviceability is an issue. Everybody's going to need service on their motorcycle unless you're doing your own, which is perfectly fine. But if you're out on the road and you're traveling and you need a tire, or something happens, you have an issue, or your brakes go out, you have the ability to get on the internet and find a Harley dealership. And along with that serviceability, a lot of dealerships will cater to travelers and treat them with a different level of urgency because you are traveling. You're not at home, you're not a local. It's not a local business transaction part like, you're just getting your routine oil change done and you live down the street. When you travel, there's an importance placed upon that. And a lot of dealerships will go above and beyond because you're traveling. And not all dealerships do, but for the most part, they will help you out. So serviceability to me is an issue, especially if you travel on your motorcycle and you're going to be out and about. Makes me feel good that if I need something, I have an issue, I know where I can get that level of help that I'll need. Car dealerships are out there, and if you need something for serviceability in your car, the availability of a dealership is super important. It's no different on a motorcycle. Matter of fact, I think it would be more important that you have serviceability in a motorcycle, because when you ride a motorcycle, it's not like a car. You're more vulnerable to everything. You're more exposed. So getting that level of serviceability is super important. Now, the other parts of this video that I want to go into is not only why Harley Davidson, but why did I specifically choose a Road Glide. Loved both of my Ultras. Obviously, owning two of them, you would consider it favorable that you bought another one. But my 2010 I owned for a period of 11 years. I put about 50,000 miles on it before I traded it in. Rode that motorcycle all over the place, all over the country. I had a great time on it. I loved it. I loved the look of it. But when I started working at the dealership and started riding different motorcycles, specifically the Road Glide, I found that the ride itself was the same for the most part with the Electric Glide, but the easiness of the ride for me was significantly better on the Road Glide. And I really started to notice that moving the bikes around in the shop or smaller areas, that I could get a better lock on the handlebars and make a better turn or a tighter turn with the Road Glide. So I started riding them more and more on demo rides and really started to pay attention to differences in how the wind hit me and how the wind hit the motorcycle and what the feeling was. And I made the choice to end up buying one. It took me a long time to really make that jump because I was just so comfortable and so used to being on a Batwing fairing motorcycle. So since I switched to the Road Glide, I owned a 21 M8, which was my dream bike. It was all black, and like an idiot, I traded it in when I got my truck. Whole other story for another time. But I had that one, I traded it in, and then I ended up getting this 2016 Road Glide Special. It's a twin cam, which I'm a giant fan of a twin cam motor because I have a lot of experience riding twin cam motors, and I ended up buying this one, and I absolutely love it. Now, it's not black, it's not how I had my bike set up before, but it is a beautiful motorcycle. I've switched everything over to black, and I'm super happy with it. I finally got it set up the way that I want, and it handles perfectly, and I absolutely love it. With choosing Harley Davidson itself is the ability to customize the motorcycle. When you look at other manufacturers, they may have parts and accessories, but the ability to accessorize or customize a Harley Davidson motorcycle is leaps and bounds, light years ahead of everybody else in the availability of what they have out there. And I think, as a general rule, there's only two vehicles in this whole world more customizable than a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and that is a Ford Mustang and a Jeep Wrangler. And a lot of more people drive than ride, and those are two very popular vehicles that people love and enjoy and have the ability to customize. So I think they probably surpass Harley Davidson as a whole. But man, think about it, there are companies that exist out there just strictly for the aftermarket supply of Harley Davidson parts and accessories. I mean, there are just so many out there that people exist in business strictly because of that. So if you're into customizing or accessorizing or making your motorcycle your own ride, you definitely got to choose a Harley. Unless some weird change ends up taking place, I will probably never go back to a Street Glide or whatever they may call it in the future. So guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and going over why Harley Davidson and why the Road Glide. I appreciate you, especially if you're stopping by for the first time. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for continuing to stop by and support the channel. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment on why you chose a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and if you're a Road Glide fan, leave a comment as to why you think the Road Glide is the best. Until next time, y'all be safe, have fun while you're out there riding, and enjoy the ability to be riding free because people sacrifice for us. And until next time, we'll catch you later.